Is it Wednesday already? I can't believe it. It's like the week is going by so fast. It's almost Q4 already, and we're here and we're hanging out and we're getting some wisdom on this Wednesday wisdom episode. And I'm here with my friend Sarah. She is from eComments, and we are going to talk today about Q4 prep, and we're going to talk about advertising strategies, and I promise you, you're going to learn something amazing. So stay tuned. But before we get into that, Sarah, why don't you tell everybody? I met you in Istanbul, and we had a great time at the World Deaf e-commerce event there. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you and what you do?
Great. Thanks a lot, Amy, for having me today with you. And it was nice meeting you at the World Deaf in Istanbul. It's been already 4 months now, so time flies. So I'm Sarra. I'm the founder of eComments. So what we do is we help brands and sellers launch and scale on Amazon marketplaces everywhere. So to give a briefing about myself, I've been now in this field for a bit over 7 years. I worked before with agencies here in Europe, and then I started eComments around 6 months ago. And so what we do is we help brands, manage their sellers and vendor accounts on Amazon, and covering all the parts when it comes to advertising, cataloging, troubleshooting, strategic consulting, all over it. So I'm happy to join you today and to discuss a very interesting topic as we're heading to the Q4, which is, I think, the most interesting quarter in the year. And I'm ready.
Yes, I think I'm ready for Q4 too. We just had our Q4 Mastery Summit last week. Yeah, and it was a lot of great information, and I learned so much. I love hosting summits because I just get to learn and with everybody else. And so I'm excited to talk with you today too, and talk about what are your favorite strategies for prepping for Q4. So let's talk first about inventory, because that's one of the hardest things. People don't know how much to order for Q4. They're not sure how to make sure that they stay in stock, and then the last part of it is they aren't sure really what to do if they have restrictions on how much inventory they can send in, because Amazon is now they have their warehouse services, they have lots of restrictions. So talk to us a little bit about inventory strategies for Q4 and how sellers should prep for that.
Yeah, so I think the most important thing, I think, before anything else should be inventory, because without stock, we cannot sell. And this really needs to be prepared in advance. So even now it's September, so Q4 is just next week starting, like with October. So this part of inventory, maybe it's a bit late, because it's like we should talk about it like 3 or 4 months ahead. Yeah. And the most reliable, let's say, strategy is always to see the historical data. So for any brands, it's very important to see all the patterns of their sales throughout the year. But especially when we talk about Q4, is very good to go back to reports, to data, and see the sales, the velocity, the sales volume for their brands, products, and try to build kind of forecasting in order to prepare in advance to contact their suppliers, or to prepare to contact their production, factory. And with that, it's very important as well to prepare for any anomalies that can happen and put a buffer. So we should not just be strict to what happened before. What happened before is just for us like a reference. So it helps us estimate how much we will make sales, but based on everything, investment, and all the other circumstances and factors you're working on, you need to prepare that buffer so you can always ask and request for higher stock to prepare for this. So mainly is historical data, and also there are other tools that can help sellers and brands to forecast based on their monthly sales. And another thing which is very important is actually to not just rely on one way of, let's say, shipping. So in a way or another, like if they have their own carrier or their own supplier, it's very important to have alternative suppliers as well. So you never know what will happen to that supplier when you're in a very critical situation and you need a lot of stock that you didn't estimate. So at least you have alternative suppliers, other deals. It's very important to put as a plan B, C, so you can always reach out to others whenever it needs.
Yeah, I love that. I think for prepping for or estimating your inventory,
Yeah,
some great things is to know that if this is a new product for you, you can always look at competitor data. So you
sure.
can look at what did they do last season, right? You
Mhm.
can, I think Amazon's data goes back even all the way back in 1 year. So you can look
Yeah,
at what was that data last year? What were the top 3 clicked ASINs? You can look at what was the search volume for various keywords, what seasonal keywords you
yeah,
could do. And then if it's your existing inventory, you can kind of look at what you did last quarter and you can last Q4, and you can kind of utilize that as a an estimate of what you'll be able to do this Q4, and usually add some for the most part, depending on how the market's looking.
agree.
Um, if you can, keep an eye on your competition as well
Mhm.
and what they've been doing, and just keep an eye on the overall market. Do you have any strategies? What's your advice for, if you've been selling a product from last Q4 to this
Yeah.
Q4, how can you know for sure how much to estimate? And if I'm limited in how much I can send in, are there any strategies for getting around that?
Yeah, I think like asking or demanding like the stock level to prepare for Q4 or high season in general is related as well for your with your, let's say, advertising strategy or social media or off Amazon actually promotions strategy, because sometimes people do not expect what would happen. Sometimes you actually don't give a lot of importance for X product and you have a regular stock with a, let's say there is a buffer but small, but somehow with now a lot of social media and advertising, I'm not sure, like TikTok video somehow, or a marketing influencer posted about product and you sell this product and boom, it's just a bestseller in few days, and all your stock kind of exhausted. So you need always to plan for this. So your advertising, let's say, strategy with the investment you're putting for your campaigns or on or off Amazon are always should be always aligned with the stock level you are preparing. So let's say if you have top priority products, bestsellers, focus products, and you're putting most of your budget on those, you have deals on those. So of course you need to estimate for a higher stock for those based on the data of last quarter and last Q4 last year, but also based on the investment you're putting and the sales or the revenue you're estimating to have. But if you have other products with, say, with low investment, not a lot of attention on them, maybe no discount on them, so of course these are not your priority, and you should manage with the stock estimation you're preparing. So I think really like aligning your advertising strategy with your stock level should be always aligned. So the best way is to look at them at the same time, and where you put in your let's say investment on deals, on discounts, on advertising, this is where you should actually cover up and level up your stock.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think preparing for those deals that you're going to run during our Q4 Mastery Summit, Kevin King talked about how, every single day, he's like, ignore Prime days, every single day between, Black Friday all the way through, the
Yeah,
Christmas season pretty much is like its own Prime Day.
exactly.
So really thinking about how am I going to advertise appropriately? How am I going to make my best deals, but at the same time, with increased fees on Amazon, how am I going to make sure that I'm still profitable during
Yeah.
this season? So knowing your numbers, preparing your advertising, forecasting your inventory, and just really having a plan. I think forecasting is key. Knowing, okay, this is what I'm going to advertise for. This is going to be my estimated profit with that. This is how much I'm budgeting for advertising. So what's your advice as far as optimizing? So before we advertise, we really need to optimize our listings so that our advertising can be even more effective. So talk to us a little bit about SEO strategies and optimization strategies for Q4.
Yeah. So I think, put on a budget or investment, needs to have a return on that investment. And without having your copy or your listing on a retail ready, let's say page, it's kind of, you're losing your money in a way or another, because relying just on paid traffic is not enough. You should always rely on your organic traffic before even your ad traffic, because the ad traffic there to bring more traffic, to increase your profit, to increase your sales, to improve your branding more than, the foundation should be relied on actually your copy. So the most important is to well optimize your title, your bullet points, your product description, your A+ modules, and mainly like highlight your high traffic keywords and search terms in there. And this is the most actually interesting thing to do, is to work on that. For example, taking one listing, try to search for your high, let's say top 8, top 10 keywords, and implement them everywhere, and try to build up this and prepare this weeks, months ahead, even though, okay, this should be actually the job of every day, around the whole year, but specifically for high season, in order to scale more the business and grow more your sales, you need to select those, let's say, SKUs that you want to focus on, that you are running deals on, and you make sure that you well optimize their copies. So again, select your high traffic keywords, implement them in your title, bullet points, a product description, or A+ copy, and make sure that you always go and check. So put that keyword in the search and try to see if your product in the first page or not. If not, you still need more work. So try to always work on that. That's one thing. The other thing, which is images, videos. So it's very, very important that you have for your bestseller or the top product that you're actually investing on and relying on for the Q4, to have minimum, let's say, 7 images in the product page. And the ultimate thing is to have a video. Having a video there with a person trying your product or showcasing the features, it's very important in nowadays. Actually, videos, they help a lot on converting, because people need to see and need to feel, the product, because they're not touching it, they're not in the physical store. So it's very important to rely on dynamics and pictures and images. Another thing, if you don't have an A+ page, it's very important to launch one, especially for these products again. So you need to have your brand story for more increase your brand awareness, but also you need to have under that your A+. So you need to run the modules, focus on your features, put some lifestyle pictures, talk about the product in many different ways. And the good thing that Amazon, since last year, they now providing the A+ premium for free. So it's something all brands actually should benefit from this, because you have more like a high quality modules, and you can put more high quality images and videos and a lot of features in there. So it's very important that you have the A+ for your top products. Well, this is all about the copy, but also the hidden keywords, which I forgot to mention. This is, again, very important that you put in your product info bar, where you have, I think, maximum 200 characters, your top search terms for your product as a hidden keywords, again, to help with the organic traffic and to help push and increase, the organic ranking for your item. Yeah.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. You talked about the importance of video, and I think that, Amazon and other search engines like Google are now integrating video into search. And I think Amazon is not far behind in doing that. And during the high shopping seasons, Amazon shows more and more Amazon Live videos
Yeah.
in their search results. So yes, having video content for ads, I think is even more important for influencer videos and advertising video ads. I think that is even more important than videos inside of your listing. Because when customers are ready to make a buying decision, you have to think about, they're scrolling through, they see so much information, so many different listings, and then they might see a video ad there that actually communicates to them a product in use, which is why video ads are so impactful, because then they're on your page. You've already kind of gotten their attention. But then once they're on your page, their chances of actually watching your video after they've already gone through your images are pretty low. They're more likely to scroll down and find a competitor. So I do free listing reviews all the time for people. You can go to amazingathome.com and you can submit your listing for a free review, and I'll send you a video of me going through your listing. And what I see sellers making mistakes, where I see sellers making mistakes, is they are putting more attention into their video and into their listing copywriting than they are their photos at the top of their listing. So your A+ content, right? You have that at the bottom, but those videos in the carousel up by your buy box, those appear first on Amazon, when you're on mobile, right? So I see this as a major mistake that sellers are making, is that they're spending a lot of money and time on videos, which is great for video ads, but they're not spending a lot of time developing their photos and infographics for the top of their listing and really bringing the customer through a customer journey. Do you have any tips for what do you love to see on photos in that top carousel of photos? What do you like to see there?
Yeah, well, to be honest, like what I mainly advise my clients and brands and help them to do is expose all the features that your products have in those, let's say, first photos. Of course, the first main image should be, we know all how it is, but later on, you need to add the features, you need to add the pros, if it's a product that needs some kind of cleaning, the way and the process, so you need to add anything that can help. And what I always do is I go to the negative reviews for the same product or for competitor product and see what are the things that customers are not happy about, and try to actually highlight that in our copy. So it's like you answer the customer's, let's say, demand or need before actually they go and even read reviews, because it's already there. So it's very important as a tip. It's actually a trick to go and read negative reviews, try to see why the customers are not happy, they're not satisfied, and try to implement that. If it's something missing even from the copy or something like that, try to highlight it. So this is, and completely agree when it comes for videos. But the thing is, to be honest, for example, maybe here for the brands, mainly in the European marketplaces, not everyone is really launching videos. So videos are always important, but at least, to have them there and then extract from them videos for ads. But the thing is, not every brand really put in some efforts in graphic designs or infographics or even video making in order to help with this. So what I always say is try to have a video at least for your bestseller. And with that, I can extract that 20 seconds or 30 seconds later on for the video ad. So at least I have that as a raw, video to put it on the product page, but later on to use it for ads. That's for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and I love that advice about looking at the negative reviews. And Amazon has actually made this much easier for us now. We can go into Product Opportunity Explorer, and we can actually go and see in summary, what people like about a product and what they don't like about a product. Erin Cordova showed us how to do that during the Q4 Mastery Summit, and it was so cool to be able to see what people are liking and not liking on a single screen, the data straight from Amazon. So you can use that to call it out in your listing and it's summarized where, you know, if you're trying to go to your competitors and then downloading the reviews and doing all that, you don't have to do it anymore. Amazon does it for you right inside of your growth menu inside of Seller Central. So I love that tip. It's such a great tip. And there's many top sellers that are using that strategy for that. So amazing. What about A+ content? So when it comes to Q4, do you do anything seasonal with your A+ content? Do you like to make it look like the holidays? Is there, you know, is it depend on the product? What's your advice for A+ content, other than, of course, utilizing premium A+ content?
Yeah, well, this is really, as you said, depends on products, because some products are seasonal products, some products that you can sell all over the year, some products can be gifts that you can gift during the Christmas season and the holiday season. So it depends really on the category. And not even like going through all the images and changing them. I think the banner is enough to highlight. If you have a new model you're launching during the season, if that product can be a gift, so you can put it or create an infographic that looks like a gift or someone gifting to another person, and not only on the banner of the A+, but it could be also on the second image of the images in the product detail page. So you can do that just for the season and then go back to the regular, of course, images. So yeah, it really depends on the category.
Yeah, and you know, I agree completely. And I also love to call out any specials. So if I'm doing tiered promotions, let's say I'm doing buy one, get one 20% off, and I'm trying to cross sell, I love adding an image in my image stack that calls that out, because then people are like, oh, okay, you know, and you're getting more kind of visibility for your brand. And I love also adding cross-selling other products inside of your A+ content. That little chart module is so awesome, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's exactly. It helps with cross-selling to other categories, and instead of buying one, why not buying two or three? So it's always helpful. It should be in every A+ page.
Yeah, so let's shift over to Amazon advertising. So how can businesses take advantage of Amazon advertising to boost their visibility and sales during this high season? And wait, before we get into that, we do have to say hi to Renee. What's up, Renee? She said, I'm an Amazon seller here too. Thanks for tuning in. What do you think?
Yeah. So PPC ads are, I think, the magical part of running, you know, a business on Amazon, especially when it comes to these high seasons, because preparation should be put in place as well in advance of the event. So now we're heading actually into the October big day deals. I think that's the name now. And then we have Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then we have the Christmas and so on. So we're going through a lot of events. And I think it depends on the deals that you are running based on the dates you have. You need to create customized strategies for your products. If it's a new launch and your main goal is brand awareness and visibility, or if you want actually to increase sales and to scale your business. So here where it falls more at how to strategize for your advertising campaigns. So what I always do is I create campaigns and strategy for the lead-in phase, which is 2 to 3 weeks before the event date. Then for the event date, which is the Prime Day or the Black Fridays, or and the lead out, which it means after the event has ended, So every phase of these has its own types of campaigns, its own targeting, and of course its own bidding strategy, because the lead-in phase is more to create awareness to the customers that there is a deal or a discount coming in soon. So this is more actually to gather more awareness about the customer search behaviors, the customer search terms, what are the customers are looking for, in order, for them to save that product, put them in their basket, so come back during the event to buy during discount. So you need really to create that awareness of that you're having a deal coming. So you need to more, create campaigns where you can see that and retarget your clients to your product during the event. And then the event day, so this is the most interesting day where you actually caring more about conversion here. So here, when it comes about having your daily budget to cover the whole day, having high bidding because it's competitive, bidding, and there are plenty of competitors bidding high, and how to maximize actually your conversion during that deal day. And the post of the event campaigns, let's say like sponsored display campaigns, where you more do the retargeting, the remarketing. So it might happen that some people have seen your product and somehow they didn't buy, they forgot, they lost it, and so on. So actually go into the data and seeing all the customers that they have seen your product or similar products in the same category in the last 30 days, and retarget those, and maybe put a small, let's say, voucher even after the event, like a coupon in your product as a gift, because the deal is ended, right? Has ended. So there is no discount anymore, but somehow retarget those customers. That's very important. So more it goes leading awareness. So it can be through sponsored display ads video, sponsored brand ads video, sponsored brand ads linked to your store pages, when you create a lot of content there about the deal, about the discount, put in some videos, background videos, short and, very effective. And the event day is more the sponsored product ads, where you actually looking for conversion here, and when you want to have high ROAS. And then after, it's more sponsored display ads when you do the retargeting. So more or less, this is the strategy I always play with, and I always use during peak seasons. Yeah.
Awesome. And let's get into the scary stories. So what are some things that you see people making mistakes on during Q4 with advertising and PPC?
Yeah, budget, unfortunately. Budget, and especially exhausting budget before even the event starts. Let's say some people really try to create this awareness in advance, and somehow they lose the budget there. And during the event, they don't have enough budget. That's one mistake. Another mistake is the budget is not enough to cover the day. So not every hour during the day is a converting hour, so it depends on the marketplace, on the country. You need really to have in advance an idea about what is what are the hours during the day that would be converting for your ads. So seeing all the historical data and using advertising tools that help with that. I can name my partner PackView. So they have very nice features where you can see actually all of your performance throughout the day, hour per hour, and based on that, you can actually bid more during the hours that convert in X day, so you can have all the performance throughout the week as well. And this can give you all of this historical data in front of you, so it helps you to customize your bidding, your budget, your strategy to that specific event. So you maximize the conversion the most possible, and you try to avoid any loss of, let's say, budget without converting. So as I said, the day parting is very important, where you can actually, divide your budget throughout the day, and more like highlights, or let's say, put more budget on the converting hours. What other mistakes they do? Well, something we talked about before is like not having a retail ready copy. So they don't really care about the title, the bullet points. A lot of info are missing, but later on they go and put a lot of budget on ads. But at the end, people are not just seeing one ad or one brand. They see a lot of competitors, they check, and it's not only about the cost or the price or the high discount as well, but it's more about the quality of the product they're buying. So if I don't see enough info that can help me, or I feel satisfied that I'm going to purchase this product, I will not do it, even though you put in high discount. So this is also one mistake, that they forget about the importance of the organic copy, and they focus just on the ad, and they say, okay, I'm bidding very high, so I'm gonna have the high conversion. But no, you can have high click-through rate, but at the end you will be having high spend and very low ROAS, return on spent. There are many mistakes. Do you have anything?
I definitely see that too, because if your listing isn't optimized for conversions, if you're not doing conversion optimization, then you're not going to make those sales, and you're just going to be spending a bunch of money on clicks. If you're overbidding and you're not being careful about your budget, or you're not day parting or paying attention during high season when everybody's shopping, you're going to lose a lot of money very fast. And the other thing that I see is people aren't optimizing their listings for SEO, for search engine optimization. And PPC placement goes off of your optimization. So if your listing isn't indexed well for certain keywords and you're bidding on those keywords, you're going to get bad placement, because Amazon wants to show the most relevant search results to the customer. So it doesn't matter if you're bidding $2. You might have a competitor bidding $1 for that same keyword, but if their listing is optimized for that keyword, they're going to get better placement than you, because Amazon's algorithm wants to show the most relevant search results. So I agree with you. Like, if you're not optimizing your listing for SEO and for conversions, you're just going to be wasting your money on your advertising. So I love those strategies where you're not just telling us, hey, do this with your PPC. You're like, no, check out your listing, make sure it's going to convert. And that's how I can tell somebody's really good at advertising. When I vet advertising companies, I always ask them, like, do you check their listings before you just do their PPC for them, right? And some of them do not. Some of them are like, no, we just set up their PPC. It's like, okay, well, they're not going to be happy with you because their stuff isn't going to be very effective. So I love that you're doing that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because at the end you can do the job for months or even years, and then the performance is always low, and then they're always not making enough profit, and their take cost is always high. So you need always to go and see what's the real problem if you want to have or maintain a long-term relationship with and help them to improve. And especially for me, I don't see advertising as a just advertising. So whenever I have a client and they say, I want to improve my ACOS, I don't just care about the advertising data. I go and request the permissions to have all the access to all the business reports, download those data for all the, let's say, the last year or year to date, and I do my calculation and I see, because seeing the overall and the bigger picture help you better put a strategy rather than just focus on the KPIs of advertising. Because at the end, I care for my clients' success and profits, and I want to help them to increase sales, not just to improve the performance of advertising. And all of these are related, and a lot of people really don't understand that there is a relationship and deep relationship about what you do on your copies, on your stock, on your healthy products and pages, and advertising. They think advertising is actually a separate part of all of this, but not really. So
it's a cog in the wheel. I love that you do that. I do the same thing. If somebody comes to me and is like, help me audit my advertising, help me, my PPC is too high. I go, okay, well, we're going to run your business reports first. Because I want to know, are you getting sessions? What's your conversion rate? Like, let's look at that first. Let's look at your listings. Let's see what's going on. Then we'll look at your PPC. And because if you're not getting sessions in the first place, well then,
it's organic. Yeah,
exactly. You can bid all day. It's not going to do anything for you.
And another thing,
I know you and me to get. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, and another thing is actually, some people think the same thing as you said, like about not having enough sessions means you have a problem with your organic traffic before even going to the advertising traffic. And they think by, I don't know, minimizing or decreasing the budget, they will make more profit. But no, actually, you need to always see the percentage of the ad sales in your total revenue. So if you find it, let's say, over 50%, so I think you're relying mainly on advertising to run your overall, revenue and sales. And in this way, you will not be profitable for the long run. So you need really to have a balance between your organic and advertising, let's say, efforts in order to be healthy in both ways. So yeah, this is an equation of exactly, yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I completely agree. So let's shift focus. So now we've talked about optimizing our listings. We've talked about inventory. We've talked about advertising strategies. We've talked about advertising mistakes.
Yeah.
Now everybody wants to know, how can they get more reviews? So Q4 or not, how do you get more reviews for your products?
Yes, so this is a very good question. So I think as much as you have a healthy copy, a good discount, whatever you have in your product as features, qualities, you put it in your content. So the customer building a trust and a relationship with you, and you're creating more customer loyalty and trust to come back and repeat, purchase. So I believe then every customer will come back and feel motivated to put a review. So I think that honesty and trust you create through your listing, this is very important in order to have repeat purchase and loyal customers to come back to you. And of course, there is the Amazon, emails that go automatically to customers. So I think this is something you need to always to see the templates and to always track it and see it. Besides that, there are tools like Feedback 5 or other tools where you can actually create templates, either the ones generic ones there, or customize it by category, let's say, and you create this sending emails. So it depends on the pattern you want actually to send the emails after the purchase. If it's like 2 days after purchase, 3 days, 7 days, there is reminders. So it depends. Then this is very nice to have it. So you can send this reminder emails to customers who purchased but they didn't buy your product. So the best way I would say is like after 7 days of purchase, and then again remind after 30 days. That's nice to have that, because sending a lot of emails would be too much to the customer. That would be, maybe not encourage it to go and put a review. So we need to be always,
Yeah, and I think if you do it like 30 days after a purchase, I often, whenever I'm writing a review for a product, I will find other products in the list that I use all the time. I'm like, oh man, I should really leave a review for that. I really love that product. So I think like just kind of leaving it for a minute and then following back up, it's like your reviews will really stack up over time. So I love the reminders. It's great. And I think customers, they're getting better about leaving reviews. I wish Amazon would reward more customers for leaving reviews. Like Shein, I shop on Shein, and they actually encourage you. They give you points where you save money on future purchases if you actually review your purchases. Yeah. And if you really don't like it, you're not going to just like give it 5 stars. You'll give it a lower rating, but you're still encouraged to review your stuff. And I wish Amazon incentivized reviews a little bit more just across the board for shoppers, not necessarily, I know they don't like incentivized reviews. But if they were to do it across their platform, I know that all sellers would get more reviews. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out with this recent FTC battle with Amazon. That's good advice, just to stay top.
Exactly. And I think actually the reviews, it's very important for us and also of course for customers when they buy, because recently there is Zalando, for example. They're trying now a beta version of removing the reviews from their listings but adding surveys instead. So I hope Amazon will not adapt this in the future, because reviews are very important to keep on the product pages. I think this is where everyone goes first. So that's very important to have.
Awesome. Well, as we're wrapping up our session today, I want to ask you, what is your top tip for Q4 for sellers? Like, what's the one thing that you think that they should pay attention to during Q4? If you had to give one piece of advice for sellers, what would it be?
Yes, I think, when it comes to Q4, I think planning very well their deals and their budgets on advertising. Should be really their the most, let's say, for me, this is what I'm doing. mostly. Like, I'm always getting alerted, seeing here and there, putting my rules, and try to run automatic rules when you feel you have a healthy campaign, you're already set up your budget, your advertising strategy, and everything in place in order to not waste time manually go and check. So try to put some rules to optimize in order to always, let's say, reach your goal and your KPIs that you want to reach. That's during Q4, but I really have something I need to share. I feel, okay, maybe now it's a bit late for some events, but maybe in the future, which is regarding pricing. A lot of brands, sometimes to be competitive with other competitors, they go and lower their price. It happens when you're not winning the buy box and so on, and you still have a profit margin. So what I would advise really to avoid the decreasing their prices 90 days, like 3 months prior the event. And actually not prior the event, sorry, but prior the deal submission. Why is that? Is because the algorithm of Amazon will actually propose the deal discount based on those 90 last days of your price. So if you have a lower price at that time, the discount will be hurting your profit margin. So it's very important to avoid that 90 days before the deal submission, and not decrease any of your product's prices. Otherwise, later on, you will be obliged to accept a discount that will hurt your margin, or decide to not run a deal. So I think this is the main tip to give about pricing before Q4.
I love it. All right. And why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you do at eCommence? What kind of services do you offer?
Yeah. So I think the service that I love the most, advertising. And of course, we help with PPC optimization and running your PPC ads on Amazon worldwide, US, in Europe, Middle East, and with cataloging and troubleshooting. So if you have any problems with your listings, or you would like some help and support with catalog upload, so we help with that. Content optimization. And of course, strategy consulting when it comes to the overall consulting of your account health, what you need to do next, where you need to put your focus in order to grow and reach the KPIs you would like to reach. You can find everything about our services and more details on the website, as Amy already displayed it. So www.ecommance.com. If you would like to contact us, there is a contact form there. And if you would like audits, I offer free audits for the first consultation together. So you can also fill in there the form, and I will be back to you as soon as I can. Yeah.
So you get a free audit, and Sarah will tell you what you're doing wrong in your marketplace, and how you can fix it. You can't go wrong getting a free audit. It may give you some good insight into improving your listings for Q4. So your listings and your advertising, of course, the cog in the wheel that we talked about today.
Exactly.
And what about following you, Sarah? What's the best way for people to follow you, get in contact with you?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm very active on LinkedIn. So you can find me as Sarra Maatallah on LinkedIn. And also you can follow our page, eCommance, on LinkedIn. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. So it's the same, following eCommance.
All right.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again for being here today and for discussing Q4 nerdery with me. I love it. It was a great follow-up to our Q4 summit last week. And I know people need help with advertising. They're always reaching out to me going, Amy, do you know anybody who can manage my ads? And I'm just like, yeah, I know a lot of people that do that. So no excuse, you guys. I've given you tons of options for people who can help manage your ads. Reach out to eCommance, get yourself a free audit, and, get it started. Smash it before, right?
Yeah. Thank you a lot, Amy. Yeah, I'm very happy to join you today. I've been waiting since the time we met, so it's nice to see you again, and we have this interview together. And hope to see you soon.
Yes, definitely. Well, thanks everybody for watching today, and I hope you have a great Q4 and a great rest of your week.